Wigan Athletic 0, FA Cup. Manchester United go into the 5th round of the FA Cup. But it's more than that. It was much more than that. When Manchester United play Wigan in the FA Cup at Old Trafford, you'd expect Manchester United to be beating a side that's fourth from bottom in the Championship. But I want to talk about Schweinsteiger. Yes, I think it's very easy to say that Jose Mourinho got it wrong about Bastian Schweinsteiger. But I want to talk a little bit about Schweinsteiger because I think it shouldn't be about that. Pep Guardiola did it with Touré. The press never touched on it. So that's by the by as far as I'm concerned. Whether Jose got it wrong or not is a discussion for another day. I want to talk about Bastian Schweinsteiger. He was head and shoulders my man of the match from today. I don't know what your thoughts were. Get commenting, give us your thoughts. I know the BBC gave it to Mkhitaryan. Mkhitaryan was good and that's encouraging. But Bastian Schweinsteiger, I think the first 20 minutes of the game, there were concerns. These players that we really wanted to see them play and most of us wanted them to do well. Schweinsteiger, Shaw, Martial, Fosu, Mensah, people like that. It was difficult in the first 20 minutes, but let's not forget, and Schweinsteiger is the best example really. This is a player that over the last year has hardly played for Manchester United. He's not started games. You think he played a few minutes before Christmas coming on as a sub. To start a game in the Premier League, well, it's not the Premier League, for Manchester United against the Championship side that were up for it. They didn't make any changes. He looked rusty in the first 20 minutes, but there was still bits of brilliance. The cross was just world class. I don't care what anybody says, the cross was world class. We put a lot of crosses in that first half, and they've got this 6'7" lad called Burns. They've got, they're hardened Championship defenders. They were eating them for breakfast, and we apart from Fellaini, there wasn't really much threat from those crosses. We're coming towards half time. Schweinsteiger gets on the right side of the penalty box, and he puts a world class cross in because it totally and utterly kills the Wigan defence. It doesn't matter how tall they are. The cross is so high, but dropping and looping to exploit their right back, who's got Fellaini on him. And all Fellaini's got to do is use a bit of muscle and head it in. Absolutely world class. And then the second half, he just got rid of the rustiness and started to take over that midfield. Absolutely ran the midfield in the Michael Carrick position. I think he's given Mourinho a few thoughts. I think the maximum thing Schweinsteiger could have come from that game would have been to just give Mourinho a few thoughts and maybe force himself onto the bench a little bit more and start working his way back into the first team, because I think he can do. But he more than surpassed that. He was the man of the match, and then to get the goal at the end was just brilliant. So can he have a future at Manchester United? Who'd have thought we'd even have that conversation? Let's not forget, in the summer, Mourinho comes in. A lot of us want to see Schweinsteiger involved. Fresh start. Everyone else has had a fresh start. Mata, Herrera, Rooney, not particularly good under Van Gaal. Very good this year. So fresh start, clean slate for everyone. Schweinsteiger doesn't get given one. He's told to go and train the kids. He's not even on the team photo. Comes to October, Mourinho admits in a press conference his work ethic, his professionalism, he's worked himself back to be training with the first team. And then in November or January, he gets a few minutes playing as a sub in the last few minutes. We're in January, he's starting a game and running it. If on the day that Roger Federer at 35 has shown what world-class talent and effort can achieve, Schweinsteiger's done it as well. You cannot underestimate that. Totally and utterly frozen out with the kids. Some Manchester United fans calling him a lazy player, a wage thief, get rid of him, we don't want him at the club. They could not be further from the truth. If he was a lazy wage thief, he was past it. He'd have sat there playing with the kids till Christmas, pardon the pun, nothing like that, not Operation Uteri at all, training with the kids. And then this month he probably would have gone to America and earned a load more money. What did he do? Never stopped believing, never stopped working. If you follow him on Twitter, never stopped being positive about Manchester United results, the testimonial in August for Rooney. Loves Manchester United, and I think it's one of the best comebacks ever. I think to come back from the situation he was in and show that amount of dedication, hard work and true class, absolutely brilliant. The only question mark today was, can he still do it at the top level? Because I've been saying for a few weeks, if Schweinsteiger's training with the first team and he's anywhere near the player Schweinsteiger can be, I can't understand for the life of me why you were not using him. Because Schweinsteiger, anywhere near his best, is better than Fellaini, he's better than Herrera, and arguably better than Carrick. And I think today, I know it was only Wigan, but he's shown us that potentially he's still got it. And man of the match, I want to see him starting playing more now in the Premier League games, because the big positive from this game as we move into the other players is what we wanted from this game is people to play well and cause issues for Mourinho, because the first team has looked a bit tired and jaded and off form recently in the last 2 or 3 games. We wanted these fringe and reserve players to play today, play well, put pressure on them players above them because they'll have to then start playing well. Gives us more options. We're in the League Cup, we're in the FA Cup, we're in a fight for the top 4. We're in the Europa League. We've got loads of games. We're going to be playing 3 games every 7 days between now and May if we continue to do well. We can't do that with 11 players. We need to utilise the squad. I don't think Mourinho has used the squad well enough up until this point. I think some players look too rusty today and they could have been a lot fresher if they'd been used a lot more. But what a perfect time to start these players, and what a perfect time for them to start asking some questions. You got Schweinsteiger, not been involved at all, so he's fresh in January, playing well. You got Martial, 2 assists today. I thought Martial's performance was in and out. I was very frustrated on the watch-along to see the start of the game and see Anthony Martial playing up front. He's not a forward. I thought, even if he played well and scored a hat-trick as a forward today, he's not going to play on Wednesday because Zlatan plays there. We've been moaning about Rashford not getting games up front, so why would Martial be an option up front? You're just going to play Zlatan. Didn't play well there. He swapped it around. He puts Martial on the left wing, which is exactly where he should be playing for the first team. He gets 2 assists. Again, a brilliant cross to Smalling. Again, it's in the height and the dip. All Smalling's got to do is beat his man for power, the left back this time, and head it home. And then the third goal, brilliant interchange in between Mkhitaryan and Martial with pace. 1-2, cross, very good cross again. Mkhitaryan scores. I think Martial deserved the goal. It was disallowed, but a very good performance from him. He's got to play on the left wing. Brilliant options. Luke Shaw at left back. Wasn't amazing. First 20 minutes we played badly. I felt he was probably our better player, but faded a bit, but then came back into it. That 90 minutes will do him the world of good, and he's an option, and I think he should be our left back. So we've got so many options from that game. I thought Mkhitaryan, not a great first half, but again got stronger and stronger. Surely he'd play against Hull. So many good performances in that game, and it gives... These aren't necessarily first team players, but it gives us so many options. I want to give Chris Smalling a bit of effort, a bit of a credit as well. I mean, Smalling gets a lot of flack. I'll be blunt, Chris Smalling struggled this season for one reason. Last year, him and Blind were superb, but they were protected by 2 defensive midfielders. And any centre-back is going to look pretty good when they've got 2 defensive midfielders shielding them. That's why we were boring under Van Gaal. That's why we didn't create many chances, because we were a defensive side. This year, you go to 1 defensive midfielder. You get exposed more as a centre-back. We saw the Chelsea game, and Smalling got tore apart. But can he come back? Can he come back? You know, we're on about signing a centre-back at Manchester United. Corners today, we were more of a threat. Why were we more of a threat? Because actually Schweinsteiger's good at corners. He goes to the front post and gets flick-ons like he did in the first half, and he scored in the second half. I think we've scored 3 corners in the last year, about the last 15 months, and Schweinsteiger scored 2 of them. Interesting fact. But Smalling gives us a threat in the air, both defensively and from crosses. So that is what you get from Chris Smalling that you don't get from Rojo and Jones. So maybe Mourinho can work it. If Mourinho can work his magic with Rojo and Jones, he can work it with Smalling. So watch this space. I thought he did okay today. Granted, it was a championship performance, championship opposition, but they all did. What more can you do? 4-0. That's a very good performance. It's a very, very good score, and lots of positives. Build on it. They've all played today. Build on it. Marks out of 10. Romero 6. Didn't really have much to do. Fosu Mensah, I'll give him a 7. I thought he did quite well. It was all about minutes for Fosu Mensah, which is great. Getting to see in a Manchester United shirt. Rojo and Smalling, yeah, I'll give him a pair of 7s. I'd give Luke Shaw a 7 as well. Midfield, Schweinsteiger gets an 8.5 for me. I thought he was absolutely fantastic. Fellaini, I'd give him a 7 because he scored a goal, although he made us quite slow in the first half. But Fellaini's not a midfielder. I don't know why he keeps playing him there. Fellaini scored a goal from the box. Fellaini has played off Zlatan a bit over the last month, and that's when he's played well. That's where Fellaini's good. Keep him on the bench, use him in the last 10 minutes when we need a goal in the box. He's not a midfielder. He can't pass the ball, and he's too slow, and he slows us down. That's the problem we had in the first half, because Schweinsteiger was doing okay, but Fellaini's too slow, and Rooney had a really bad game as a number 10. Martial, I'll give him a 7.5 for the 2 assists. Mkhitaryan, I'll give him an 8. Mata a 7, and Rooney I give him a 6. I think he was our worst outfield player. I don't really want to get into the controversies of what I said on the watch along, but what I would say about Rooney is I think for me it's just another example of a player who's on the decline to retirement. He's not in Mourinho's first team plans. He's lost half a yard of pace. His touch isn't fantastic. He doesn't look as strong. I don't know whether the fire's going out or whatever, but in defence of Rooney, he's achieved everything and more he could ever wanted to achieve at Manchester United. Champions League, titles, cups, all-time goal scorer. He's not. He's our biggest earner. He's our club captain. He's not part of the first team anymore. Mourinho has openly said if he wants to go, he can go. If he wants to stay, he can stay. That's not the sort of vocabulary that you get from a manager that wants somebody to stay. I think he's more than happy for Rooney to stay and be a squad player. Is Rooney happy to be a squad player? I think Rooney's better than that. I think Rooney should just take a pay cut, go down to 200 grand a week and go and play for Everton. He supports Everton. He's from Liverpool. I think he could offer somebody of that level. He can be a first team player and enjoy football again and play football. I think that's all Rooney's ever wanted to do. It'd be interesting to see what happens in the summer. I don't think he should go to China. I think he's still got a lot more to offer in the Premier League. I just think at Manchester United, where you've got to be on your game every week, where it's just not quite that sort of player anymore. If he was willing to stay as a squad player, I'd be happy to keep him, but I don't know. But yeah, very, very happy with that performance from Manchester United. We roll on to Hull, really excited by it. And I think, Schweinsteiger, just brilliant. Martial, I think he answered his critics. I think, 2 assists and 2 very good assists. He wasn't good when he was up front. I felt sorry for him when he was up front. The thing with Martial is when he's up front, he's got his back to goal. He loses his biggest asset. You put him on the left wing, he gets the ball when he's running forward. And that's his biggest asset, running at players. It's no surprise that when he went to the wing, he was an 8.5 out of play, 8.5 out of 10 player. When he was up front for that first half, he was probably a 6 out of 10, maybe even a 5, just not very good. But yes, very, very good. And I think it's perfect timing, as Josie Pullis just said. I think he's saying that. Well, he's saying it's wrong that Mourinho's waited till virtually February to start using the squad, which is something we're going to pick up on tonight on the Sunday Night Live. We always like to have a few debates on that, and I think we will be discussing that, why Mourinho hasn't used the youth and the squad until now, and whether that's a good or a bad thing. You could say it's perfect timing because many of them have taken the opportunity today and they've played well, and they give us so many options now going into crucial time for us. Look at Liverpool. In the space of a few days, they've gone out of 2 cup competitions. They're now going to be focusing on the league, and I think they will finish in the top 4 because their style of football, which is basically played by 5-year-olds, it's basically everybody runs after the ball. You've got to have a lot of energy to do that. So Liverpool have manipulated a situation where they play 1 game a week now, and all they've got the league to focus on. And I hope it blows up in their face, because that sort of negative and self-appreciating attitude of, we're just going to focus on one thing. Mourinho, to be fair to him, from day one has respected every tournament and gone to go with a winning attitude and mentality for absolutely everything. And now we go into February, we're in a League Cup final, we're in the FA Cup still, we're in the Europa League, and we're in a fight for the top 4 in the league. And that's exciting for Manchester United. And maybe the negativity that we had, that the first team players looked lethargic and not up for it over the last couple of games, that has totally and utterly dissolved now, because we've had these players come in who've not been given opportunities up until now. Schweinsteiger, Fosu Mensah, Smalling, Martial, Luke Shaw back. That's 5 players that really haven't been involved. Totally fresh, totally ready, totally up for it. And it makes it very interesting for Manchester United and very exciting for us as Manchester United fans. We'll also be talking to Manchester United transfer news tonight as well. Will we dabble into the market in the next 2 days? You know what? I think Chris Smalling's probably just ended any opportunity that we might go and sign a centre back. But I'm not convinced. I still think we might sign somebody. So we'll talk about that tonight as well. We're obviously going to talk about the greater squad. We're also going to start talking about what Manchester United do in a couple of weeks' time when we start playing in Europa League again. Let's not forget, every British team in the Europa League at this stage has destroyed their league form trying to win the Europa League. Look at what happened with Liverpool last year. They went all the way to the final and their league form suffered. I mean, they were against Van Gaal for 4th. They could have beaten us, but they focused on the Europa League because I don't believe you can do both. However, we've just found 5 squad players today who can battle for first team places, so maybe we can. Maybe that's the master plan for Mourinho. Maybe we're going to go at all these trophies with a core squad of 17 or 18 first team playing well form players, and maybe then we can do it. Interesting times for Manchester United. We'll talk about that a little bit later. A couple of other things. Join us tonight at 8:30. It's going to be a fantastic show. It's our flagship show. We really appreciate it when people get involved. That's why we have the live comments up, obviously, along here. If you're new to the United Stand, please subscribe to the channel, bottom right hand corner. Subscribe, make sure you click the bell. We're a live content channel. You'll get a notification every time we go live. Drop a like on the video if you enjoy the content. We certainly enjoy having you. Welcome to the United Stand if you're new. Thank you if you're part of the United Stand and you've been here for a long time. We can't do it without you. And I said it before the game, very excited by it. And this is what being a United fan is, really. It's getting excited. Schweinsteiger, I've not even mentioned him. Schweinsteiger, fantastic youth player, been captain in the reserves. Yeah, you know, he didn't set the fire on, but he had 20 minutes in a Manchester United shirt as a young 18-year-old. Absolutely fantastic. And you can see the raw attributes there. Yeah, he's got to fill out, but he's quick. He's got a good touch of the ball. And that 20 minutes today will have sent his morale and his development sky high. And that's the same with Fosu Mensah today. It wasn't, you know, is he a right back? Probably not. But he played well over an hour for Manchester United first team and played well. And again, that will do a lot for him. It's about getting minutes in a Manchester United shirt for those young players. And I think Jose Mourinho probably knew it, but he will have learnt today. When he subbed off Fosu Mensah and brought Schweinsteiger on, it was like the perfect reminder of how you can win brownie points with Manchester United fans, because we love to see the youth coming through. It's what our club has always been built on. And when you sub a youth player who's played well for about 70 minutes for another up and coming youth player, the crowd, who were fantastic today anyway, just absolutely erupted. And that won't be lost on Mourinho. He knows that he must do that sort of thing, and I hope he keeps on doing it. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you all at 8:30. Looking forward to reconvening with you. I think I'll pour myself a nice little whiskey tonight, and we'll have a chat. We've got the Draughty Devil, hopefully Alex on as well. Live comments, get involved. Loved it, absolutely loved it today. That's what it's all about. I'll speak to you all very soon.